7 minutes. That's all it took for Tiffany Henyard to be out as the Democratic nominee for Thornton Township Supervisor, and she left here visibly upset.
New drama tonight involving a controversial politician in the south suburbs. Tiffany Henyard was the only Thornton Township leader to show up for a scheduled meeting.
The drama surrounding Mayor Tiffany Henyard of Dalton, Illinois, continues to escalate. From allegations of misusing public funds to accusations of voter suppression, fiery public meetings, and even eviction disputes, Henyard remains firmly in the spotlight. Opinions about her are divided. Some see her as a bold leader fighting against the odds, while others view her as a controversial figure whose ambition is unchecked. Despite the mounting criticism, Henyard refuses to back down, and her opponents are equally determined to hold her accountable. One thing is certain, this political saga shows no signs of slowing down.
You think I can cook, babe, huh? Alright. I guess anything else? I get sued all the time. Y'all, stop it.
The latest controversy surrounding Mayor Tiffany Henyard involves her defiance of a judge's orders and her bold declaration that she does not care about the legal or procedural challenges she is facing. Despite the mounting scandals, Henyard has not only managed to maintain her position, but has also announced her intention to run for re-election. Her decision to double down, driven by confidence or perhaps sheer bravado, has left many in the community shocked. With chaos seemingly at every turn, the question remains, what is fueling this turbulence? Let us break down the unfolding drama and its implications.
Last month, the judge issued a temporary restraining order blocking her from making those appointments without approval from trustees.
Mayor Tiffany Henyard's troubles deepened earlier this month when she was denied a spot on the ballot for the upcoming Thornton Township Supervisor election. The reason? Her slate of candidates was incomplete, lacking a certified assessor, which is a mandatory requirement for anyone running for the position. Henyard, predictably, did not take the news quietly. During the caucus, she accused her political rivals, including Illinois State Senator Napoleon Harris, of rigging the process against her. In a fiery outburst, she called the entire process illegal and vowed to sue everyone involved. "You did not run any of this the right way," she shouted, directing her anger at Harris, who also serves as the Democratic Party committeeman for Thornton Township. Napoleon Harris has firmly rejected Henyard's accusations, maintaining that the caucus process was entirely legal. He explained that while caucuses may seem unfamiliar to some Thornton Township residents due to their rare usage, they are a long-standing tradition in other townships across Illinois. Critics, however, argue that Harris intentionally chose the caucus system over a primary election to block Henyard's re-election bid. Henyard has a different perspective, claiming that if her opponents believed they could defeat her, they would have opted for a primary. She has strongly criticized the process, calling it unfair and exclusionary.
It's one thing to win, but let's do it properly and let the people really have a voice. The people's voice was taken today.
The caucus held at the Homewood Flossmoor Park District Auditorium descended into chaos, with only 600 seats available. Many of Mayor Tiffany Henyard's supporters, including those who arrived late on township buses, were left waiting outside in freezing weather. Henyard alleges this was a deliberate attempt to suppress her voters, claiming attendees were allowed in at an intentionally slow pace while others remained outside in a line stretching around the block. After her loss, Henyard voiced her frustration at a rally, highlighting the conditions her supporters faced. Her boyfriend, Cale Woods, also expressed anger, accusing a local reporter of misrepresenting the events and demanding truthful reporting.
Court. The judge today declining to hold her in contempt, but did warn her that if she did not follow the ruling, he would.
Napoleon Harris and his team have been quick to refute Mayor Tiffany Henyard's claims. His attorney, Burton Delson, argued that the caucus process was fair and followed all established rules. "This is the process that has been in place long before me," Harris said. "I am simply exercising my role as committeeman to hold a caucus." He also noted that the rules for the caucus were made available in advance, though Henyard's camp disputes this claim. Despite her loss, Henyard is not backing down. She has already announced her intention to run as a write-in candidate, and her supporters remain optimistic. "I think enough people know her name to write it in, and I believe we can still win," said Keith Price, one of Henyard's allies. However, with her name off the Democratic ballot for the first time in decades, it is clear she faces an uphill battle.
A Dalton home that she leased to Mayor Tiffany Henyard has filed eviction papers. She says Henyard has not paid her rent, and now she wants...
Mayor Tiffany Henyard's legal troubles extend beyond the Thornton Township caucus. She is also embroiled in a contentious eviction dispute with her landlord, who alleges that Henyard and her boyfriend, Cale Woods, have failed to pay rent for months. According to the landlord, Henyard owes thousands of dollars in unpaid rent and has even changed the locks on the property to prevent access. The landlord, who once considered herself a friend of Henyard, has now filed eviction papers, though attempts to serve them have reportedly been unsuccessful. As mayor, you would think they would uphold positive citizen standards, the landlord said. But instead, they just feel like they can do whatever they want. This eviction drama is only one of the many scandals that have plagued Henyard's tenure. Earlier this year, the FBI launched an investigation into her administration, focusing on allegations of extravagant spending and misuse of public funds. Reports have revealed that Henyard spent tens of thousands of public dollars on questionable expenses, including luxury travel, lavish dinners, and a concert that cost over $85,000. One particularly shocking discovery was Henyard reportedly spending over $43,000 on Amazon purchases in a single day, further fueling public outrage over her administration. Mayor Tiffany Henyard's legal troubles extend beyond the Thornton Township caucus. She is also embroiled in a contentious eviction dispute with her landlord, who alleges that Henyard and her boyfriend, Cale Woods, have failed to pay rent for months. According to the landlord, Henyard owes thousands of dollars in unpaid rent and has even changed the locks on the property to prevent access. The landlord, who once considered herself a friend of Henyard, has now filed eviction papers, though attempts to serve them have reportedly been unsuccessful. As mayor, you would think they would uphold positive citizen standards, the landlord said. But instead, they just feel like they can do whatever they want. This eviction drama is only one of the many scandals that have plagued Henyard's tenure. Earlier this year, the FBI launched an investigation into her administration, focusing on allegations of extravagant spending and misuse of public funds. Reports have revealed that Henyard spent tens of thousands of public dollars on questionable expenses, including luxury travel, lavish dinners, and a concert that cost over $85,000. One particularly shocking discovery was Henyard reportedly spending over $43,000 on Amazon purchases in a single day, further fueling public outrage over her administration.
What do you do tonight if you don't get the Democratic Party's nomination?
What do you mean? I will be victorious tonight. You will see. My people are here. They're not gonna go nowhere.
Critics have heavily criticized Mayor Tiffany Henyard's leadership style, describing her as abrasive and dismissive of her colleagues. During a recent village board meeting, Henyard declared, "I am the leader. They want to hear from the mayor, not the trustees that do nothing." Such fiery rhetoric has only widened the rift within Dalton's government, with trustees openly challenging her authority and accusing her of mismanagement. "I feel as if I am in a dictatorship," said trustee Brittany Norwood, one of Henyard's most vocal critics. The way she talks to the trustees, it is like being in a mentally abusive relationship. Even more troubling is Henyard's apparent disregard for the long-term consequences of her decisions. By appointing unqualified individuals, such as Burge, to key roles, she is not only jeopardizing the effectiveness of the Dalton Police Department, but also exposing the town to significant legal liabilities. Critics warn of the risks involved in such appointments. If the police department mishandles a critical situation due to unqualified leadership, the fallout could be catastrophic, not just for Henyard's administration, but also for Dalton's residents. Already burdened by challenges such as high crime rates and financial instability, the community cannot afford such risks.
You are a clown. We will continue to speak out against wrongdoing.
Why won't you step down?
Mayor Tiffany Henyard's controversial pattern of appointments extends far beyond Burge. Critics argue that Henyard frequently selects individuals with questionable backgrounds or close personal ties, raising serious concerns about nepotism and favoritism. For example, former police chief Louis Lacey, one of Henyard's appointees, was recently indicted on charges of bankruptcy fraud. Lacey's financial misconduct and his connections to Henyard have only intensified criticism, with many accusing her of surrounding herself with allies who prioritize loyalty to her over their responsibilities to the public. These decisions have left numerous residents questioning whether Henyard is genuinely working in the town's best interests or merely consolidating her power. Despite mounting criticism, Henyard remains defiant. She has positioned herself as a victim of political attacks, claiming that her opponents are conspiring against her. During a recent Facebook Live session, she questioned, "Why is all this attention on Tiffany Henyard?" What are they doing that they do not want us to know about while they are distracting us over here? She has even hinted at launching a podcast to share her side of the story, though no further details have been provided. The ongoing drama has sparked heated reactions from the community. While some remain loyal to Henyard, others are deeply critical of her leadership. One commenter, referencing ongoing investigations into her financial dealings, wrote, "Thought she was going to prison for stealing millions." Another frustrated resident stated, "Tiff has mental problems and needs to check. She is very unstable. Lord, please get her out of that seat and stop giving her control." These comments reflect just how divided the community has become over Henyard's tenure. As scandals and controversies continue to pile up, the question remains whether her leadership can withstand the growing discontent.
Does all this point the finger to Tiffany or allow me? I'm over it. Now it's time for me.
The appointment of Ronald Burge as Dalton's interim police chief has only added to the growing turmoil surrounding Mayor Tiffany Henyard's administration. Burge, whose law enforcement certification is inactive, was appointed by Henyard despite clear warnings from the Illinois Law Enforcement Training and Standards Board. The board explicitly stated that Burge cannot serve in any law enforcement capacity until he completes requalification. Nevertheless, Henyard has defended her decision. Trustees have filed legal challenges to block Burge's appointment, calling it unlawful and a blatant disregard for proper governance. Henyard has dismissed the criticism as a politically motivated attempt to undermine her leadership. During a recent meeting, she described the backlash as an effort to tarnish her reputation. However, critics argue that appointing an unqualified police chief highlights her broader tendency to prioritize loyalty over competence. One trustee questioned the decision, raising concerns about Burge's inability to carry a firearm and doubting his capacity to lead an entire department. These concerns are widely shared among Dalton residents who are grappling with yet another leadership crisis. As legal battles mount, the FBI investigation continues, and public frustration grows. Henyard's future as both mayor and township supervisor appears increasingly uncertain. Despite these challenges, Henyard remains resolute. At a recent rally, she expressed confidence, claiming her widespread popularity in Thornton Township fuels her determination to persevere.
A Cook County court has reversed some of Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard's decisions. At last night's village board meeting, Henyard announced a 30-day temporary appointment.
Is Tiffany Henyard a misunderstood leader battling a corrupt system, or a politician whose ambition has gone too far? With each new development in the saga, Dalton residents and observers are left questioning what comes next. Will Henyard's resilience carry her through, or will the mounting controversies ultimately lead to her downfall? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Stay tuned for more updates as this ever-evolving story continues to unfold.